This is a very punk rock movie.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe the most punk rock movie we've watched on this show.
Mm-hmm.
You,
Mm-hmm.
I
When
think
you realize, again,
I just brought a huge thing of books over to just prop my light up.
I
looks nice.
I always appreciate thinking about some of these movies that are considered classics, but then when you think about them in the context of when they came out, it's like I remember watching French Connection a couple of years ago and trying to imagine how mind-blowing it must have been in 1971 for people to watch a movie like that, because it was one of the first to kind of do what it did. And then when I think about this movie,
I just watched what's his name's acceptance for best director for that.
Friedkin, yeah.
Friedkin.
So think about this thing coming out the same year as Easy Rider, interestingly enough, and from all accounts, this is the movie that made John Wayne cry, because it effectively
Multiple people
killed off the fucking Western. I mean, like,
Right.
you take maybe the most American of movie genres, the Western, and you pack this thing filled with all of every fucking like guy that's in all of those movies, with the exception of like John Wayne or Gary Cooper. Like, you get all the side players, and then you portray them all as a bunch of hateful, murderous vermin.
Yeah.
And like, just the epic chutzpah.
And they're growing old doesn't excuse any of it.
Right. And
They're just assholes.
Yeah.
I'm watching this going, okay, I knew I liked this movie, but I'm watching it now really trying to think about what it must have been like a bomb going off in 1969 when this thing comes out, and just takes the Western and just smears feces all over it.
Well,
They took the Western out back and just went right in the back.
Yeah,
of the head.
and
Like, that's
you can actually
it's
You
a great
realize
movie,
that
but it's also
Peckinpah-
epically punk rock, and for that I salute you, Wild Bunch.
Yeah. You can balance this film with the Magnificent Seven. I think it was 62, because that was the beginning of the decade. This is the end of the decade, and you can see the Magnificent Seven, even though it was like a Kurosawa film originally, was
There's
all
also a bit
all
of,
the Western
Butch
morality was in there.
Cassidy
It's like, whoa, we must help these innocent people, and we're really good folks, and we don't want to hurt anybody really, but if we have to, we will, and the whole Western thing.
but we will kill your ass.
But we will kill your ass, and then we will actually, persevere. The violence is just as intense in Magnificent Seven as is in this film, except
So
maybe
I
less shit blew up.
I want to point out
Aesthetic
one.
squibs.
I want to point out one thing that I learned from like the IMDb trivia, blah blah blah, is that Warner Brothers, who produced this, they had one gunshot sound for all the gunshots. Whatever the gunshot was, they had
Bang,
one
bang, bang,
gunshot
bang, bang.
sound.
Like Fox had
And-
that one gunshot for like the Apes movies. Remember that
Yeah,
one?
and in this movie, Peckinpah was like, no, fuck that.
Oh, no.
We're gonna record gunshots for every kind of gun. And so whatever gun it is that's shooting is the actual gunshot sound for what that gun sounded like.
Ooh.
And it was just, to me, it was one of those things where I've watched this multiple times, and to me it was like, yeah, that's what that gun sounds like.
So 30
This is
caliber or
rule.
45 or
I'll,
like
I'll wait and you let me know when to
38
go on
special.
this one.
Yeah, I can see that.
The
But,
squibs get a little, I mean, this is like, late 60s, early, I mean, really up until like, I think what was Saving Private Ryan was one of the first to like actually do bullet hits, maybe the way they really would look, as
Yeah.
opposed
Well,
to like a blood
and,
fountain going out one end.
Yeah.
The front,
Yeah.
blood fountain out the front, which is definitely not what happens.
But
And-
I thought of Private Ryan too, because it begins with like a huge slaughter.
Yeah.
It ends with one.
Yeah.
True. Maybe not the shaky.
There is,
camera, but that's good stuff.
The bullet sounds may be authentic, but I did hear a Wilhelm scream in there at one point.
Oh yeah.
There
10
was,
years,
yeah.
That's a good one. It's loud.
turns out this movie is before all of those movies that used it too much.
Well, you know
Right.
what's weird is, I remember I've read about this movie, when I was in film school, and I saw it when I was a kid, and I saw it years ago, and I saw it in theaters about 10 years ago, and I watched it now, and it's like, it's revolutionary. It is kind of like a punk rock, postmodern Western kind of thing,
Yeah.
but it's also, everything in the world is caught up to this film, and maybe even past it now. So,
Well, that
this-
reminded me of Butch Cassidy as well, in that it was clearly the beginning of the 20th century. And it's like the dialogue even says it. It's like, we can't do this anymore. It's not working anymore, which is very much the theme of Butch Cassidy too.
Right.
Well,
right.
this changed violence in
country.
films.
Yeah.
Like this literally
stuck a lot
changed
more of it in
violence
there.
in films.
Well, even Monty Python makes fun of this movie.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
their
Are you
salad
talking about
days.
are you talking about Salad Days?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that
Peckinpah
skit.
salad days.
Because Monty Python was around 68, 69.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I think it was almost the same year, but it was nuts.
Hilarious.
But
The performances are good. I mean, the cinematography, like the locations. I think this is like the
Well, it's not
locations.
They
Mexico.
did really well on the locations.
There's a couple of really great set pieces. The train, the bridge blowing up, the shootout at the end. I mean, like it. This movie has a lot going for it. And then
Yeah,
ultimately, I think the collective of the ensemble cast,
Yeah.
even though it is borderline caricature a lot of the times, also again, it sort of fits within the context of what passed for a Western leading up to this point.
Well,
Right.
it's the first time you have cowboys who are sort of they're oh God, what is it? Oh, go ahead.
Assholes?
Assholes, right?
No, they're self-aware. They're sort of
Yeah,
Well, then
post-ironic.
again, it's like on the other hand, this is a film. It's not too far from a noir. It's about a bunch of bad guys doing bad stuff and having a code of badness. You know, they're going to go out and rob people and stab people in the back. And I'm not saying you root for the bad guys in noir films, but you kind of do.
Well,
Yeah.
but Peckinpah couldn't
Are
even
you-
call cut on one of the scenes because when he was crying because they were like, yeah, we're gonna walk away from this. And it's like, fuck. Yeah, of course you can.
Uh-huh.
Like,
And I love that flippin' ending where you got Robert Ryan like sitting there underneath all those buzzards.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And like, what are you gonna do? He's like, I'm just gonna wander around, try to stay out of trouble. And they're like, well, want to come along?
You want to come with us?
Great.
I like it that
Great
the
look on
old
his face.
man gets to he survives.
Right. It's
Right.
like, you want it? Well, fine. Well, we can use you. And there's
Yeah.
that real. They don't overplay it. Like there's that look of like, fuck, why not?
No,
Robert
I'll
Ryan,
go be a mercenary. Like,
Robert Ryan's character was really one of the most appealing in the whole movie, I
I
thought.
think he's the only one you're.
and
kind
he's
of
the one who
supposed to root
survives.
for.
Yeah, he's the one who survived. He wasn't an asshole. He hated the guys that were working for him.
Yeah.
He hated those
Oh,
guys.
but I love
Right. He's working
All right,
for.
all right,
No,
all right.
Strother, all
No,
hail Strother Martin and L.Q. Jones. They were the
Everyone-
best part of the film.
Everyone, let's take a second because
Uh-huh.
Jared has something to say.
Yes, Jared.
With the exception of, I'm a fan of Peckinpah. I love Straw Dogs. I love Alfredo Garcia. With the exception of the shootout at the end of this film, I fucking hate this movie. I think this is a terrible, terrible film. I think this is an ugly looking movie. The cinematography is awful. I think that I fucking hate this movie, and I love Peckinpah. I think this is I get why it's popular. The end shootout scene is brilliant. The rest of this is fucking trivial, stupid shit. I don't like it. The best character in this whole movie was the fucking Mexican fucking
Generalissimo guy?
general. Yeah, he was the only guy with any personality in this fucking
No,
picture.
that actor was actually really interesting. He was a
Alrighty
great
then.
No,
actor.
I'm gonna say like I agree with Jared. I don't agree with him that it's a bad movie, but I agree with him.
All his
that,
criticisms are valid.
yeah, all his criticisms are super valid.
But-
Like,
I guess the question is go back, like let's go pull 27 westerns out of a hat.
yeah, no,
Are the levels of what
Character
passes
development.
character in those?
There's
things
no character
any
development
different?
in this picture, in
No,
my opinion.
No, I know, but that's
It's
but
not.
again,
It's not.
because-
It's not really a character study film.
No,
It's-
right.
This is,
right.
No, but at least make people that I fucking can.
Okay.
I don't know. These
Jared,
are all
Jared.
just. It's like tough guy versus tough guy versus tough guy
Jared,
versus tough
Okay,
guy.
Jared
Jared,
isn't-
okay. Hold on, Jared. If we were in film school and I was your instructor and I made you watch this film and you told me that, you know what I would actually suggest you do? Write me 5 pages about the macho imperative, male identity, and the Wild Bunch.
I would not
Because
only do that,
that's
but I would.
what this
I would.
film
I
is
would not.
about.
I would not only do that, but I would write why Peckinpah kind of dropped the ball here.
Okay, as opposed to his other films, why do you think he dropped
Yes,
the ball in
because-
the Wild Bunch versus
Because
like Alfredo
because in his
Garcia
other
or-
films, because in his other films, people have range. They have dynamic character. They have 3 dimensions. They are not representing archetypes. And this isn't even archetypes. This is one archetype though for every fucking character in the movie.
I think it's about men who are trapped in a stereotype. And I'm talking about the Old West, but I'm also talking about violence. I'm talking about relating to each other in terms of violence. That's the theme in this film.
Scott, I have to say, this is my movie, and I picked this, and I think Jared's criticism is 100% correct.
Okay.
I do believe that this is a movie where the men who are in it are not men, they're just caricatures. They're just people who are cutouts. They're cardboard cutouts of people.
I disagree with
When
that.
you guys name a Western made prior to 1969 that bucked that trend. I mean, I've been thinking a little bit. Like,
all these characters have backstories. They might be as distinct as some films, but they're distinct. But what Peckinpah is doing is talking about violence in general. Don't forget, this is a metaphor.
This film is a metaphor
for Vietnam. That's what this is about.
This movie is about violence.
Yeah.
And I think it does a very good job of being a film about violence.
It's a film about violence against people from the third world.
These
versus men. It's all
also these flashbacks. These flashbacks are handled so poorly. They're the most cheesiest flashbacks.
Actually,
I've
that's
ever
why they
seen in
were
my
cut
fucking
out of the
life.
non-director's cut. I'm sorry.
The flashbacks.
They add nothing to the film.
This whole thing is just the end shootout is obviously the zenith. It's the price of admission. The rest of it, though, I think could have been done much better.
The shorter version is the punchier version, if you ask me.
Well, I watched the direct, whatever. It doesn't matter.
This movie literally should be like an hour 70. Hour 65,
hour 40,
yeah.
hour 45.
Yeah.
That's it. It should be in and out. Boom.
Because when you get to the shootout at the end, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
I liked that part. That was the part I liked.
It's a bananas bloodbath. I had forgotten just how long it went on. Where you were
almost he kept it in check. He almost like every time I thought, okay, you're going a little bit like his continuity would be off, but he brought it back. So it wasn't bad. Yeah.
There's a psychology to this film. It's about violence, and it's about the late 60s in America that is, I think, kind of pushes the characters down. So I'll agree with you with that one. It makes them into caricatures, and it makes them into kind of
This scene,
it's great.
Where they're like, "Hey, you want to come?"
That's right. That's one of my favorite parts of the whole movie.
Yeah. You want to come hang out with us? And he's like, "Yeah, I do actually." Like, let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna get on the horse, and we're out of this.
Also, there's a lot of scenes in the middle of the film where they end up in a village in Mexico somewhere. I want to go there. That sounds looks like a great place.
Did anybody recognize the music that they sing the first Mexican village when they all leave and they're singing as they're riding their horses out of town? That's on the Buena Vista Social Club soundtrack. I was like, hey,
I love that film. I love that film. That's a great soundtrack.
It's the same song that plays at the end of the movie.
Oh, what a great soundtrack.
Again, I guess I would argue, sure, Jared, I see your point, but the thing is it like this it's like they took a cookie cutter Western with a significantly sized budget from the prior 20 years, and they fucked with it.
Yeah.
While
but
it
does twist it up.
While there's actually inherent and endemic paper thin characters.
But there's no performance in this movie. Every single person acts the same fucking way.
I think that might be kind of the point, though.
I just
it's a Western about Westerns.
They're just angry, and you better not get the best of me because I'll get the best of you. But no, you can't get the best of me. I'm gonna get the best of you.
I disagree with you because of Ernest Borgnine.
No,
Ernest Borgnine.
Okay, stop right there, because that is what the other thing this film has is star power. You've got William Holden, and you've got Borgnine, you've got Warren Oates, and these guys.
William Holden looks like
Ben Johnson,
someone's grandpa who's about to
The
That's
idea
the
that these
point.
guys were like leftovers in the closing of the American West, that fact they're old actually kind of helps the story, I think.
But
Yeah,
that
I
doesn't-
had forgotten how old the main characters were. It's been a long
that
time.
doesn't change the fact that Ernest Borgnine is incredible in this movie.
He's
Like
really good.
he's so
I don't think he is.
fucking
I
good.
like Ernest Borgnine. I've seen him better in other things.
I like the younger actors. I like Warren Oates. I liked
Yeah, Warren
Heather
Oates is way
Martin
better
and
in other
Elsie
films by
Jones.
Peckinpah, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I thought those guys brought a lot more brio. to
Look,
it.
I wanted to pick a different Peckinpah movie, but this is the one that was
Alfredo
available.
Garcia is not streaming anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah,
Oh,
Alfredo
that
Garcia.
film's a
dude.
good, but actually it's a bit of a slog if you ask me.
It is a slog.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. But it also. But here's the thing. The thing about like Straw Dogs and Alfredo Garcia, Peckinpah deals with the like these
We're
taboo
not watching
subjects.
Straw Dogs.
Straw Dogs is a horror movie in some ways.
No, but Peckinpah loves to deal with like taboo subjects and do them in a very real, sort of raw way. And he definitely has the raw hand here, but it's a different picture. And the thing about both Straw Dogs actually and Alfredo Garcia deal with not only murder and a person's morality and soul, but it deals with like rape, and both of them in weird different ways that are actually provocative and thought provoking.
And did he do a World War II movie with Luke Skywalker in it?
He did Cross of Iron in 1977. That's
No,
got,
was it? There was a red.
Colburn
Who
and-
directed the big red one? Was it
that's
Sam
Sam
Fuller?
Fuller.
Sam Fuller. I'm getting confused.
Yeah, different Sam.
Sorry,
Samuel Fuller is
Sorry.
great.
can we pull it all down for a second? I want Jim's corner. I literally want Jim's corner.
Because he's speaking tonight.
Unmute yourself.
Meet the press, Jim.
So the thing I liked the best about this movie is like the opening. Actually, I didn't really like the ending that much, and except for like the old man asking Ryan's character if he wants to come along and do shit. But basically, the kids at the opening as they ride into town,
Yeah, the kids
torturing
in the
those
yeah, that was
scorpions.
amazing. That's actually was the best part.
Yeah,
Very informative.
it
They were so-
sort of
those-
sets the tone for the entire movie.
Those kids'
That's how
faces were
everybody
so
else is.
sadistic. Those kids' faces were so sadistic.
Yeah,
I did
Yeah,
love that.
the kids are very much like
That actually was the best part of the picture where we're
Children of
we're
corn.
literally watching
Hey.
two scorpions get eaten by fire ants.
Hey,
That's
country
pretty
kids,
fucking
no
rad.
television, no comic.
Oh, that's-
what else
that's-
you supposed to do on a Saturday afternoon? Come on.
yeah.
that's one of
Yeah,
the
you've
one of the
seen this
screenshots I
right?
lost.
It
Was,
also reminded me. I know it's a stretch, but it reminded me of Blue Velvet, the ants in the in the lawn.
Jim, you've seen this a bunch though, right?
I've seen it a couple of times, 3 times probably before this.
You know,
Uh,
I grew up in the countryside. This kind of thing. I see some people doing some sadistic.
Sam Peckinpah, after reading the biography on him, he worked a lot on Rawhide and a bunch of TV westerns, just like Altman and Aldrich too.
Yep.
It's interesting. This is like his first movie where he really goes all out and does the violence and everything, and then it sets the tone for everything that comes afterwards.
I just think he got better after this. To be honest.
Yeah, it's possible.
I don't.
In my Python
I don't know
sense.
if I did. Yeah, I don't even know that I think this is his best movie, but I'm very impressed with the idea that he took what he learned on Rawhide, managed to get Warner Brothers to load up this cast with a bunch of character actors from all these westerns, and they clearly threw a lot of money at it, and this is what he did.
Yeah,
When
no,
did this
I'm-
movie
I'm
will be
impressed
remembered
Went
with
down
the
to
fact that-
Mexico to shoot
and
this.
I think that's why it stands out. I'm impressed with the final act. No one had ever done. I understand that no one had ever done that kind of shootout. That kind of that's impressive, and it was
Wait,
really
when
done.
When did Bonnie and Clyde
well.
come out? Was that 67?
66.
67.
Yeah, I mean, the ending of Bonnie and Clyde. It's like who's got more bullets?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, this one clearly.
This one's got more pull to it because there are fewer
By-
people.
by a largeness.
This one clearly by a large
Yeah.
margin. But you're right, Chris. If Bonnie and Clyde set a tone, which was, and if you look up Bonnie and Clyde and you watch it again, which I did actually a couple months ago, but I also read up on Bonnie and Clyde, which was who directed that? Was that
Arthur
George?
Penn.
Penn.
Arthur Penn.
Yeah.
Arthur Penn.
I mean, that was Bonnie and Clyde was heavily influenced by like the French New Wave cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They wanted
like,
to ask Godard to direct it at first, and he
right.
turned them down.
So there you go.
Oh, that's
so there you
interesting.
go. So
Oh,
there
yeah,
you
that's
go.
Warren Beatty's baby, man.
There's a really
Right.
good book called I can't remember what the book's called, but it's basically about all the Oscar nominations for that year.
Oh no,
And
there was
Bonnie
about
and Clyde wins.
the year Hollywood something or other because it's every
Yeah.
that year.
It's
yeah.
got a real corny title.
There's a clear case actually that Bonnie and Clyde changed Hollywood in a way.
Well, it did.
Yeah.
Just
really
like
did.
Well, and this
just
this
like
is an
Wild Rider,
early
Easy Rider.
this is an early fucking
It's a
MPAA
precursor.
movie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's-
No,
it's
I
a heart attack.
despite all my hatred, the ending of this movie is spectacular.
Yeah.
Okay, but besides the ending, I just wanted to say in terms of like popcorn, enjoying a movie, the middle, everything leading up to the train robbery,
Mhm.
how the train robbery plays out, the getaway when they dynamite the bridge, they light the dynamite, and then the wagon wheel falls through the friggin'
Oh, isn't that
get
crazy?
stuck. That's like Sheila and I were both just like, even though we'd both seen the movie before, we were just like, oh shit. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
at that point.
no, this is a good movie.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
top to
Peckinpah's-
bottom,
yeah.
this
Yeah,
is a
Peckinpah's-
good
yeah,
movie.
his sense of geography and location is really fantastic.
You know
And,
what? I didn't dig that signature editing thing he did of cross-cutting between body.
Oh,
and
the
falling.
cross cutting. Yeah.
Again, that's the thing that's time has passed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
It just draws.
He does a lot. He does a lot.
But again,
Lots
I'm gonna
of
call
things.
back. I'm gonna call back to an argument that we had a while ago, which is like, who did this before him?
Right.
Well, yeah.
Right.
No, to me, again, this is just gets bonus points for maybe being first on a few
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, exactly.
Tad
Yeah.
and I are now.
It's a place of pride thing for this film, and it's like a
Right.
lot of people followed it. Lots of people followed it.
Mhm.
That's the thing. So are we at show of hands at this point?
I just want to say that Tad and I are best friends again because he respects I love Tad because even if you disagree with him, he loves you. So thank you, Tad.
My thumb is up, but
My
I
thumb-
understand. I
Or
understand
ass.
why. I understand why your thumb could be sideways.
My thumb is sideways.
Your thumb has to be sideways. You can cock
Listen,
the lever on top.
Listen,
of a
the
45.
the end of this picture, my
Mhm.
thumb is up.
Right.
The rest of this picture, my thumb is down. So that's why my thumb is sideways.
That's fine.
Oh,
How did
45 degree that bastard.
How did William Holden manage to? How did William Holden manage to hang on to the machine gun after he was dead? That's what I want.
I was wondering the same thing.
He was
Caught-
dead. He
it's a
was
little-
dead
it's
when
a
it
little-
stopped, I think.
His wedding ring got caught in it.